Well, I'm doing this car over on this channel for the simple reason, what I'm going to be doing with this, a lot of you guys are probably not going to like, so you better sit down, okay? I got this car 10 years now, I think. When I picked it up, I knew the car wasn't perfect. It had a lot of issues, but mechanically, it had all the right bits and pieces in it, and I made a nice driver out of it. I've after been off the island now, I think 6 times with this car. It is a lot of fun to drive. I enjoy this car. This car, to restore this car, it needs a major restoration, okay? If I was to dig into this car, it'll end up like my Chevy, okay? The one that's on the ramp here, okay? I don't want to get into this. The paint that's on this car now, I painted it 9 years ago. And it's just trim clad. It's been out in the weather. I parks it outside every summer. It's out in the rain. It's not kept inside or not like that. So it's weather beaten and the paint is really faded. I'm not so much worried about that. The car is starting to show signs of aging. I like patina, but not this type of patina. This car has a lot of filler on it, okay? I knew that when I got it. I knew what I was getting myself into. Very familiar with saddled up cars. That's what I've always called them, okay? Abundance of filler, they're just saddled up. This car is what it is, okay? I have a number of holes and cracks and stuff like that have come out on the car since I painted it last. It held up pretty good, 5 years or more, and it was pretty good. It was just after that it started showing its age, and the last couple of years it really got rough, okay? I'll show you all that in a minute. But the way with it is that, like I keep saying to a lot of people, I'm a bodyman by trade. This is the stuff that I did a lot of. Around here, fellas never had money, okay? They wanted cars repaired. They wanted them done fast. They just wanted to get a winter out of them. So what I'm doing with this car is what I'm doing with them. One thing I've done a lot of is paint taxis, okay? I worked in shops where our main source of income was taxi cabs. You'd be painting 3 or 4 of them a week, okay? So, you know, you had to get them in, get them done, get them out. That's the way they were. Now, taxi cabs are on the stand around their 6 to 8 months. They got to be painted again anyway because they're usually beat up or whatever, that type of stuff. So that's why I'm calling this one a taxi special, because I'm taking this car now. I'm going to do some quick body work on it, get it painted, okay? I want to get this car back on the road again. It's been off the road. I got Wendy's Mustang done. So now I want to get this one done. I'm not going to dig into it. If I can get away with it, I won't be striking the welder off this anywhere, okay? You're going to be a bit surprised. So you purists, you better just like, you know, turn this off now or, or just understand that like there's a number of different ways of restoring an old car. Some people say you're going to do it right. That's fine. That's all great if you got the time to do it. But for me to turn around and strip this car to the bare metal and replace all the rust that's on it, all the panels that have been put into it, it will take a lot of time, okay? I don't want that. I want to spend 2 or 3 days at this car and get it painted. That is my goal, okay? So I'm going to walk around here now, show you all the work that's got to be done on it, and I'm going to dig into it. Starting up the front here, you can see there's flakes here, okay? You see where that flake's soft here? There's stuff inside there, bit of rust here, going down through here. All this here has been filled, okay? This section down along here, a lot has been filler work been done on it, and repairs done on the fender. The top side of this car is still holding up good, okay? From about here up, there seems to be very little or nothing that I got to do. Okay, it's just everything from about here down. If you look closely here, you can see where there was a panel put in the bottom of the fender. That is riveted in, if I'm not mistaken, okay? It's not welded into the car. I'm not going to get into it, okay? I'm going to dig that out like I did last time and fill it up again. This quarter panel right here, this is all flaked off, okay? I know for a fact, I can feel in there and feel the thickness to the actual quarter panel. Now down here, I got actual holes in the bottom of the quarter panels on this car. This is one of the main reasons. The other side is even worse that I want to do the repairs on this here. This here, again, has a panel put in from here back through here, okay? She has a panel put in her here. Or no, wait now. No, this one here don't have nothing. This is still original. Yes, this is still original. And as you can see, that was a hubcap on Mountain Road in Moncton that came off my car and came up and struck the quarter panel. That's filler there. But all this in here, I dug it out last time. And I found a lot of blisters, as you can see in here. If you look at the way the bodywork has come out, and that's behind the bumper. But there's a lot of pits and holes in along here. And all I'm going to do is just clean it up, okay? Now, on the back of the car, you can see these are infamously known for going here, okay? But you can see that it's pretty rough. Right? And I got this line here was not there. I put this here because that's the original bead. This was all filled. So all this is filler, okay? You can really see it when you get over here. There you go, look. Tells you about the filler. That was my own fault there. Trying to get the trunk latch to fit properly on it. I had to do an alignment on the latch and using a block of wood and a hammer, and I missed. And I struck the body of the car. And that's what I was left with. But the license plate covers it. I didn't bother with it. You can actually see down here how thick it is there. Look. I'm telling you, it was amazing what we used to do with all filler years ago. Okay. This one here, same way, made up that seam there. I got one bit of damage over here around the taillight. I backed into something there one day. I never broke the taillight though, but I damaged the back of the car. Now here's the bad spot. Isn't that lovely? Look at that. It's still solid there. I can't break it off, so I'll put a poultice on that. Poultice? What's a poultice, Tony? Wait and see. But back here, oh look, factory spot welds. That's unusual. So I got to repair that there, and then I come over here. This is the first place that broke out on her when I first put it on the go. Let's have a look here now. Look at that. As you can see, and through here is all bubbled up where the pieces put in her. It's cracked up. All down through here, all bubbles. Right? It's funny because there's a bottom put in this door and it hasn't broke out, but the corners have. See? Edges here, and of course this fender here is the same way. There's a bottom put in the fender, bubbles in it here. And then we got this side over here that's all broke out, all full of bubbles, all down through here. And that's pretty well it. Like there was pieces put in the fenders. You can look at the gap right here. There's a piece put in the fenders here. I don't know what for. But there's nothing ever broke out there. Whatever it is, that's still good there. All the hood is good. All the tops of the doors, the trunk lid, the roof, all that, all around the drip rails, around tops of doors, all that is good on this car. It's just from here down. Some of you may be looking at this and say, well, Tony, just clean off the 2 quarter panels, grind them off, and do the repairs on and fill them again. I dug into this car the last time I painted it. And as I dug into it, I saw a lot of things that I didn't want to see. And I realized that what it is, this here is going to have to be stripped from here to here, from here to here. This entire quarter panel from here, right on up to here, right on around the back, all that's going to have to be replaced, okay? These 2 complete rocker panels will have to be replaced. Bottoms of the doors, bottoms of the fenders will have to be let go and grinded off and redone again. There's a lot of hours involved in doing all that. I just want some nice clean driver. There's nothing wrong with doing what I'm doing for what it is. If you're on a budget and you want an old beater, don't be discouraged that you got to do everything perfect, okay? If you haven't got a lot of money to spend on a car, well, by all means, make do with what you got, okay? That's my take on the entire car community. A lot of people are hung up on perfection, on everything that has to be done. But what I always enjoyed, all the years that I go to car shows and everything, I always eyed the guys that were on a budget. Fellas that were doing things as best they could with very little money. They're the guys that I've always put a smile on my face because I knew they were true hot rodders and they just got by with what they got, okay? And that's basically what I'm going to be doing with this here now. I'm just going to give it a quick clean up. I'm going to fiberglass all these sections. Not fiberglass matte, just short strand fiberglass. So I'm going to stop me gabbing and talking here now, and I'm just going to dig in. So as you can see, everywhere I digs into it, I'm running out and I'm feathering out in the filler, okay? And this is what I'm running into. Down here you would think, well, Tony, just grind that off there and weld a piece in there. I can tell you right now, I gets into this, I'm going to be into a nightmare here, okay? Because I'd say if I digs into that, I'm into the back side of it. I done this car before. I done the same way I'm doing it here now. I drove it for 10 years, okay? And I was happy with it. The main thing is that I'm happy with it, and it doesn't matter what anybody else thinks, okay? The last time I done the body on this car, I had a few friends wanting to come up and give me a hand, and I told them, no. I said, you don't want to see what I'm doing with this car. So, you know, I have a lot of projects on the go, and this is my fun daily, okay? I just wants to make a nice driver out of it, cruise around in it, make it look clean. That's the reason why it's sold trim clad on it. I won't have a lot of money into this, or a lot of time, okay? It'll look clean, it'll look nice, okay? Here's the example I'm talking about. That's fiberglass mat right there. I don't even want to dig into that. There was a bubble there, so I knocked the head off it, and I'll just fill right over top of that again. Make it smooth again. Is this going to break out? Yes, 100% is going to break out again. But it'll break out, and it'll look like it is here now, 10 years down the road. That's my take on all this, okay? This is the extent of what I'll do now. I'll sand all this over with 40. I'll fiberglass over any of the real rough places that are here. I'll put a poultice on that, and on this back here. I don't want to go getting into this upper part of the quarter panel because this is all rough up here, but it's smooth. That's 10 years old bodywork there, plus, okay? And down here, it's gone, so I'm not too concerned about it. That's a lot of breakout next. Who knows? I can get into stripping this car, and you can see everywhere I struck the grinder, I fell into filler, okay? No matter where it was to, I fell into filler. And that's the problem you're going to run into. Up here in front, this stuff is old. The filler on the front of this is pink, right? And that's when we used to have brown hardeners. I don't see that all around a lot anymore. Now everything's blue hardeners. But that's an old filler that's on the front of this here. That was before my time. I filled this car from here to here last time, and it looks pretty straight, okay? When it looks down the fender, right, this whole fender's been filled from here down, okay? I'm not getting into it, see? Some of you guys are saying, but Tony, what? Look, it's, you know, it won't take you long to weld a patch in that there. Just cut that out and weld a piece and it'll be done. You'll have it done right then. No, because I grinds into that, and then I'm into this, 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 and I'm into this. Then I got 3 weeks of making a quarter panel on the back of this car, okay? I know someday this car is going to get a lot of love, whether it's by me or someone else, but right now, I want to get this back on the road, so this is the process that I'm doing with it. I'll walk you through it when it gets to it. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to go ahead and strip the other side, have that done, strip the back. All the bad spots, I'm going to hit with the grinder, have that done. Now, Tony, you know you're going to have to cut that out and weld a piece in it. Don't even think about it. You can't leave that like that. No, you're going to be up into the quarter panel. Then you're going to be grinding everything off, cleaning everything off. And then you're going to be another project like that. You got a point. I'd say just muck it over, get a fiberglass in it, and be done. Let's get this on the road. You know, if you butchers that, people are going to get on your case for doing it. Who cares what the internet thinks? Good point. Yeah, you should agree with me. I know what I'm talking about. We don't need another project on our hands. Another rig here lying around for 2 or 3 years. So here's what we're going to do. I went around with the ball peen hammer and I tapped in on this stuff, okay? I never use the body hammer because it's usually 2-pointed and folds in. I find the ball peen just turns around and and knocks all the high spots down. I just want to get this section a bit lower, and get this section here a bit lower. Got that all done. The rest of these here are fine, going up along here. I went around, checked these bottom ones, same thing. Tapped in a few small low spots here. I'm not getting into it, people, okay? Done the same thing here, tap this down, just tap this. That's all I'm doing, okay? Now, you may be wondering, is shocking Tony did this before, right? When I did this on a customer's car, he knew what I was doing. I didn't just say, oh, well, a piece of net, and it did this with it. No. And when someone came up to me and wanted repairs like this done, I'd tell them myself, well, I'm not going to weld nothing up. Oh, that's fine, as long as the holes are filled. Okay, as long as you know. And it's not going to last very long, but you'll probably get a year out of it. Oh, that's fine for me. I only want to get the winter out of the car. So this is what I used to end up doing, is what I'm going to do with this stuff here, right? Got them all cleaned up, right? Not too worried about surface rust, okay? Because there's lots of that underneath all that now as it is. Okay, it's a crazy way to go about this here, but this is the reality of this car, okay? This one here, got it all tapped off. There's a couple of there I'm going to have to do what I call a poultice on to make them strong. This one here is, I don't think I'll need one on that. Should be able to get away without putting a poultice on that one. One there, I'm going to have to do something with that. This one here, you can see the rivets, huh? Where the pieces are riveted into the car. It is what it is, okay? A lot of cars are like this here, and anybody that's ever picked up a car like this and got into it as a project realized they got in over their head. I've done this before, and it's not my first rodeo. And I know where I'm going to get into if I jumps into this car. This car looks good, going down the roads, nice and smooth and straight and all that type of stuff. It's got a couple of bad spots on it. That's it. I'm going to turn around and muck this up, make a nice driver out of this again. So, up here, same thing. So, I'm just going to mix up some short strand fiberglass now and start filling up this stuff. So, I picked up some of this Evercoat fiberglass short strand stuff. I prefer this over the long strand. I got a quart of it here. Hopefully, I won't need to use all of it. But I'm just going to mix that up. Just cut out a piece of cardboard. Doing this all on the low buck here now, people. Simple old piece of cardboard. I'm going to use that for mixing board. I got a spreader. I probably got, I don't know, 20 years. My holes on these is shocking. I got them forever. An old piece of steel to mix it all up. Or to haul it out the can. So, let's get this open now. I'm going to go around to all the small spots on it first. And get that done. Gone around and I've done all the small areas. I got all them fiberglassed up. These ones here. Going around the back here. Got that one there done. One on this side here. Over here. This down here is all done. Don't that look lovely? Some fellas puts resin in the fiberglass to make it smoother. I don't worry about that. I'm buzzing it all off anyway. And I've done here and here. And up here in front as well. And I also done the rocker. Bottom of the rocker over here was pretty scaly, so I went and ran a skim over the bottom of the rocker there as well. Now that I got all them done, next one now to tackle are these ones here, okay? These ones here now, you've heard me talking about the poultice. I have that one. I have this one here, the bottom side of this here. And I got one over here, which is the front of the quarter panel. Right here. I've done this trick a lot over the years. I used to do it on the inside of doors and stuff on cars when the bottoms of doors would be gone and stuff like that. What I use is plastic because it peels off easy. And the plastic, what I'll do is I'll mix up some fiberglass and I'll smear it out over this here. This here is probably about an inch bigger than what it needs to be, so I know the shape of what I got to put the filler on this here. Same with these here, they're all cut to fit the patches that I got to put in here. When I put it on it, then what I'll do is I'll just take it over and I'll stick it on the car. The plastic keeps from falling in, okay? Because it sticks to the plastic and it holds it in place and trying to fill up the hole. And it also keeps it so you can move it around and make sure it stays half level, and you can put most of the material down into the low spot as you're going, right? So I'm going to show you now. I'm going to start off with, what's one? One of the small ones first. This one here. I'm going to do this one here first. I should have cleaned off the bench here. It's all full of metal filings, but maybe I should mix some metal filings into this so the magnet would stick. Yeah. I've done this process, like I say, this is just for, you know, beaters, getting around, you know, got a hole, you want to fill it up, and, you know, I don't recommend doing this. No, I don't, okay? I'm not just saying this is how you do it, do body work and stuff like that. No, that's not the case. This is just for a quick fix for something that you got kicking around. This is all I'll do with this now. Smear that in there like that. I'll work that around that there now. Smooth that out. Push all the fiberglass into the hole to give it some strength. And there you go, a poultice. That one's done. I'm gonna go ahead now and get all the rest of them done. So here you go. My little poultice mix. Back here. And over on this side over here. Right there. Oh, it's hardened up pretty good too. Feel the heat that. I'll let it sit for a few minutes now and wait till that hardens up a bit more. And then I'm going to, all I got to do with that now is buzz it all off. I'm probably going to haul a skim on over these ones here again after I buzz them off. And probably over a few of these, I don't know. I'm just going to buzz the head off all these with some 40 and a oscillator and go from there. But like, I have, between grinding everything up and fiberglass and everything up, I might have an hour and a half in this right now. Okay, so like I haven't got a lot of time in it. I'm coming out here in the evenings just to piddle at this. I spend an hour at it and I go in the house out of it. So I'm pleased with that. Yeah, that's pretty well cooked there now. So I'll let that harden up and then we'll buzz it off. You want to see something satisfying? Oh, look at that. Simple as that. Brand new, it is brand new. Brand new. Nice and solid. So I got my old palm sander here, and I got some 40 stickets. Well, they're not stickets, they're hook stem ones are. So I got the hook pad on there. I'll hook them onto that there and go over and buzz the top off all that stuff. So I got everything buzzed down. I'm going to refiberglass these spots here, the ones that on the poultice things on, because it's just like they're where they're wrinkled up and that. There's a couple of spots that I missed that are only small. I want to continue on with it and smoothing it out a bit better. Other than that, everything is been buzzed off. Once I get stem fiberglass, you can see that one there, see? Down here at the bottom here, I never got no fiberglass in there, so I'll just smear over that now and be fine. And nice strong quarter panel again. How long, I don't know, but it'll look good for me for a few years. There's some body work on this car that I done similar to this last time, and it's still holding up, okay? It all depends on where it's to. This is going to crack. Again, I know it is, because I repaired them last time. That will go again, I'm guarantee you that, right? But other spots, they might last. Edges of the doors for some reason, they always seem to split, because where they put the panel on it and wrapped it around, they never done nothing with the edges. So when a vibration, everything just ends up splitting through it. That's it. But that's it now. I'm going to fiberglass up them spots again. There. Got to do the lip here, and this one here, and the other side. And I'm going to call her nice. I got all that fiberglassed up again now. That's the last of it. I actually used the full quart of that. Used all that up. So, there's a quart of fiberglass on her. Now, granted, I buzzed some of it off. But, that's what it takes now to patch stuff like that up. So, I'm happy with that. Next step now, I'm going to buzz it off and start smearing it all with filler. So, all that stuff there is set up there now. What I'm going to do here now is I'm going to buzz that off at 40. And then I'm going to start, I'm just going to give everything another rub over, because I'm going to start applying filler to this. I got to do some hand sanding up in here. But what I'm going to do with this car here now is that, because I'm starting to do filler work, I'm going to do one side at a time. I can jump right around this car, and it's just going to get overwhelming. So I'm just going to take this side of the car here, and possibly the back, or the front, which is ever. And I'm just going to go, and I'm going to fill it, sand it, and do whatever got to be done with it. And just get this side pretty well roughed in till it's almost ready, before I start the other side, because it'll be just too much running around the car all the time, right? I'm not as young as I used to be. There was a time I would have ran around this best kind, but I'm not going at that. So I'm going to get these here buzzed off, and we'll get some filler on this. So I got all this here roughed up. That's all roughed up down there, all along here, down the bottom side here. Got the fan going here, and I got a mask on. So, but I got this all done here, back here, all this done. Now I have two really bad spots, right here and right here. So what I'm going to do first, I'm going to bring them up, okay? I'm not going to worry about filling everything right away, because all this stuff seems pretty good. I should get away with one, maybe two coats on that. These down here, there's a lot of low spots in, so I got to build it up. Same with back there. I got to do that one as well. So I'm going to do two of them first and get them done, let them harden up, and get them sanded, so I'm not gone too far into it. Because if I start running around doing all this here, I'm going to run into problems, okay? I'm over here now, I got everything dug out. This is a gallon of filler I bought when I done Wendy's car. 3/4 to a half a gallon there. I'm going to use that up. It's body gold, the filler is. I always like using the gold fillers. I've used the older style fillers as well. Fellas uses fiberglass resin in the older fillers. To me, I just like clean sanding. When you put resin in it, kind of tendency to have a film on the top, and it's hard to knock the top of it off, but it's cheaper. None of this is stuff that's cheap anymore anyway, because I think I paid, I don't know, $60 for a gallon of this, and I think it's a lot more than that now. So that's the worst thing about bodywork, I tell you. It's expensive. But I got my big selection of mixing boards all cut up here, ready to go. No high tech here, it's a piece of old cardboard. Cream hardener. I've been knocking everything down with 40 paper, okay, with that oscillator. As an old palm sander, you can get the regular oscillators that comes up. This one here is a smoother rotate on it. It doesn't rock as much, so you get a smoother finish. I use this here to do a lot of body work, okay? I can actually rough body work in with this here to the point where it doesn't need a lot. I don't use a block a lot if I don't have to, especially on small repairs. I'll do all my body work with this here to a point, and I'll probably run over by hand, then later on just give it a few blocks to see what it feels like. But if I can't feel it with my hand, that's going to be fine enough for me. So I'm going to make some filler here now and get it put on. I went ahead and I filled that spot there, and I come around the back here, and I filled that spot there. Then I had some left over, and I just started adding the spots that I need to be done, and I just kept going until I run out of filler. I didn't want to go wasting any, right? So I'll let all this set up here now, and then we'll go on to the next step. You might like this one. Humidity is high here today. Taking stuff a while to dry. Right here now I got these filled. You can see right here. This is low right here, okay? This here got to be built up. And right here has to be built up. So let's fix that now. This here spot here is low here. You would think, okay, let's sand this off, find a low spot and do it again. Nope, I'm not even going to do that. I'm going to fill right over top of that again now. Bring it all up. One thing we learned when we were in the trade, that filler would stick to filler without a problem. You don't have to sand it. You can just put filler right over filler. If your nose is low, wasting your time to sand it, just add filler over the top of it again. Some low crown additive. Fixed. Build that up a bit there. I've flung a lot of this stuff in my years. It's sad to say it, but that's the way I made money. Right? If you didn't know how to put this on, didn't know how to work with it, you were out of a job. Went ahead and I filled everything else. It just seems like the humidity's so high here today, it's just taking a while for it to dry, so I put it all on here now. I got everything one coat. I got that brought up where I'm happy with it. So I'm just going to let this sit here now for a bit. Let it harden up nice and hard. I don't use cheese files. I don't use none of that. I just turns around and sands it with 40 paper. I don't like it when it's sticky. I like it had to be hard, but early hard. Okay, what I mean by that is I will not leave this overnight, okay? The way filler works, the longer it's on, the harder it gets, the harder it is to sand. So a couple hours, sand it, okay? If you leave it overnight, it's harder to sand. You can still sand it, it's just harder to sand. It's just workable within an hour or so, depending on the weather. If it's a hot day and it's not humid like today, this would have been hard long ago, and I would have had to sand it by now, but that's it. It's very, very damp here. It's raining out. It's crazy. But anyway, I'm gonna let this harden up, go in and grab a cup of tea, and come back out at it. So I got everything sanded. You saw me do it all with just the oscillator. And I blocked everything with that. And then the small areas that I couldn't reach with the block, I turned around and done freehand. You see me with a piece of sandpaper. I never used no fancy tools on it. Back here, a lot of material come off, look. A lot of stuff there. Clean all it up around, blow all that off and make a mess. But I got all that done. I had to drill out the holes here. It is thick there, yes, I know. I'm not getting into that. By rights, that whole rear panel is replaced, but it is what it is. The only reason why this cracked is because I struck this here one day and my hammer slipped and struck this here and cracked it. So I was doing an adjustment on the trunk lid and I couldn't get it no more, and I decided I'll tap and do it, but it cracked. So that's the only reason why that did crack, because all this whole panel is the same as that there, right? But I got that done. I got put some low crown additive to the dent on this side here that was there. I repaired the dent and then filled it. Got that done. The spots down here has been done now. I just got to put the seam back in her. But I'm not quite finished. Hang on, a little edge down here got to be dressed up a bit better. All this down here, it feels pretty good. Everything's going to need another skim. I'm going to give a skim on everything else once more. Some stuff needs more work than others. You see me drilling out the holes here, keep the filler out of them. I got to keep ahead of that. If I don't, I'll end up losing them. Then I got to go inside and try to find the hole. That's what happened back there in the back. And if you look closely, I missed a spot. I was guesstimating them where it was 2 with a 1/8 drill bit, and nope, missed it. Got above it, nope, missed it, and went a little bit more and got it. So I looked into the top one. Top one I got right away. But anyway, and then over here, you can see this is shaping up. Still got a little bit of low spot there. And there's a little low spot right around here. All that there looks good. Up here, you can see the low spots that I got. That's it. I do all my finish work with that oscillator, okay? And I can feel that there, and that's pretty good. One thing about a car, when you're doing cars, okay, you can see this. If you got a crown panel going this way, you can't see this, okay? That's what people don't realize on an old car. Volkswagen bugs are famous for it. Like up here, this section of the car here, if you had a wave this way here, you won't see it. Now, if it's a big wave, you'd see it, but if it's like very, very minute, this is the waves that you'll feel. It's going with this direction here, right? So a lot of times when you're concerned about body work, this is the direction you got to be concerned about. A little quick rub over this here, and you know, that'll be fine. You got to just judge it accordingly. So I got all that done there now. I'm going to clean all this off here first, and then blow everything off, and then I'm going to mud everything again. So I got everything filled again. And some will say, you know, well, Tony, why'd you fill it all again? Why didn't you just fill the spots that you had to fill again? Years ago, I figured out that as filler hardens, the sanding characteristics change on it. So when you put filler, like if you have filler put on there and it's on there for 2 hours, and you put a spot here and a spot here and a spot here, when you go to sand it, the sanding characteristics of the filler underneath is different than what's on top. And then you're going to end up having all these wrinkles and bubbles and you know, you're just going to have waves in it everywhere. I've always hauled a quick skim over it. For the amount of time it takes me to buzz that off, it's nothing, okay? I don't use putties. I just use like these gold fillers. Some are saying now, Tony, what about the paint? You should have stripped it, whatnot. No, this gold stuff, you can put it on over, you know, sand and paint, works the same way as putty, okay? I don't need, like, if I had to strip this to bare metal, I'd be in some mess, wouldn't I? So, you know, I just figured I'd point some of that out, why I do like I do. It's a lot easier because once I get this all down to a uniform level coat, I'll sand it all with 100. And then what I'll probably do then is I'll just go over it again, give it a good blowing off. And I might haul a tight skim again on it. I don't know. But that tight skim is going to be more or less for any pinholes or any heavy scratches that are left in it that I don't want to dig into. and because I'm finishing all this with the oscillator, okay? And I now have no intentions of putting a sanding block to this. And like even up here now, like I even haul my filler this way and this one here to try to, you know, change the shape of it so that this way here felt better, because I found there was still a bit of a wave in it going this way. You're not going to see it, like I said earlier, but I figured I'd just haul my filler that way to help with it, right? But that's it. I'm going to let that dry now and harden up. And then I can buzz that off. So that was the second run around now with the oscillator, third on the big heavy ones, okay? No, it wasn't third. No, it's my second time around with the oscillator. And I got everything knocked down. I'm happy where everything's to. Everything is finished off with 40, okay? That's all I end up doing with that there now. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to set the oscillator up and repeat the whole process again with 100 and sand all that down. Then I can really find out what flaws are in it, if there's any nicks or anything in it, or I'm not happy with the straightness or whatnot. But it all feels good. Best kind for me. I'm happy with how it feels and everything there. Going along there. All along the back here. So this is pretty well, I'd say, 85% done. So I'm just going to buzz all this off now with a 100 stick it and see what it's like. And I'll debate whether I'm going to fill any spots again. I think I got one spot down here I'm not happy with. But the rest of it all seems pretty good to me. So let's buzz this off. So here's where we are. I buzzed everything off with 100. I'm happy with everything. I have a couple of small spots will have to be touched up later. I'm not too worried about it. I went and feather edged out this stuff up here. Sanded all that stuff off there. This here came out good. Got a couple of small spots that I'm going to have to touch up. But other than that, I'm happy with that. There's no time in that. You remember the state that was in. That's best kind there now. And then over here, you see me put my body seam back in there again. That's one thing I never liked. I was never one for like filler. This is what I mean when I talk about filler in a car, is the way I got this car done. I seen a lot of this when I was younger, and the Camaros and all that type of stuff. I used to fill all the body seams on them. And every time I saw a body seam that was disappeared, I knew it was full of filler. And like putting the body seams back in this here, like this one over here, gives the illusion that the car has still got an original panel in it. Now, even though all that's filler, it just, to me, it just looks better in my mind, right? It's not a custom, like custom cars used to have all this filled, but it's just, I was never into that, because where I used to put on so much filler all the time, I always looked for body seams. If someone wanted me to go look at a car, I'd look for body seams. But that's it. I got just the hubcap scratched there that I got mounted in one year. When my Cadillac hubcaps came off, bounced off the car. I got to fill that spot up. Up here, I got a little spot down here on the bottom side. You can't even see it. I could probably get away with it, but there's a couple of small spots down there. But the rest of that feels good. I'm happy with that. That's all brand new. No hole be gone. No holes there. Now that's mint. Factory quarter panel on that. And all this up here, look, that's all original. It feels good all along there. Okay. All this stuff here. The edges on this were always trouble for me because I like having nice crisp edges, and where they would put bottoms to the doors, they wrapped around. It was so hard. This door over here is really bad. This section here, there's a spot right, where's the two? Right there. And I never liked it, but that's it. I gotta live with it. Right? Same with the bottom of the fenders. I tried to doctor it up so it doesn't look so bad, right? But this one here is all this kind. Now you can see what I got done here now. This here is, I might have 5 hours into this. Okay, this side here, other than a few touch-ups, is ready for primer. So this is what I mean by, you know, taxi special. If I was to stay at this, I'd say I got another couple hours on the other side, and in the first 8 hours, this will be ready for paint, or ready for primer, right? With a fair bit of body work on the car, right? That's what I mean by quick licks, get it in, get it out. A lot of you are watching me doing this now and shaking your heads, but you've got to understand what I'm doing here. I want to get this car back on the road again. This is my cruiser. I'm not selling it. This is my car. And, you know, I just want to do the car the way I want to do it, so I can get it back on the road again. I have a bit of fun on this. It takes me back to when I was in my 20s and we used to be doing cars in shops. We do collision jobs, okay? And back in the late 80s, early 90s, if you could not sling filler, you were not a bodyman. You couldn't get a job. So you'll get a piece of salvage coming in. The whole side was cleaned out of it. We've replaced nothing. Repair the fender, repair the door, repair the quarter panel. And if you couldn't do that, you weren't a bodyman. And that's the way it was, because that's how we had to make money. Insurance companies wouldn't pay to replace panels, and you had to be good at filling sides of cars. And like I've seen a lot of videos and pictures that fellas are posting on the internet of cars that are fully sodded up. You got to realize what money was involved in that, because it's a lot quicker to do it this way for the amount of money you're getting into it, okay? And, you know, back in the 80s and the 90s when I was in the trade, the problem you had was, you know, an all-over paint job. I'd do them for $500, $600. If I wanted to charge the fella $800, there was a fella down the road going to do it for that. And that's just the way it was. There was an abundance of bodymen around, and fellas in a body shop, all-over paint job, $1,000 maybe. That was back then. A lot of things have changed since then. And the quality of what people are wanting and stuff like that, and that's just it, right? Like, for someone to turn around and to want to get everything welded up on this, no, okay? They wouldn't have the money to pay for it and stuff like that. They want a nice, cool little cruiser, put a nice look of paint on it. They're probably going to sell it in 2 years, and that's what it end up being, like this, right? But anyway, I'm going to continue on with this one in the next video, because I want to see if I can get this all primed. But I got a lot on this one here now, so... and I'll leave this one here. I don't know if there's any tips in this one here. Tips how to butcher. Yeah. Anyway, we'll catch you on the flip side.